leading off this morning with the bombshell interview everyone's talking about so far today. Prince Harry and his wife Meghan sitting down with Oprah Winfrey and laying bare the inner secrets of royal life. It was a 2-hour tell-all exclusive, first with Meghan on her own and then with Prince Harry joining in on the conversation. It was variously intimate, emotional, shocking, raw, dark at times. There were revelations of apparent racism in the palace, suicidal thoughts, rifts with other senior royals, including father and brother. The reaction was widespread and instant, and Tessa Arcilia is in London to track all of it for us. First of all, those explosive disclosures. Tessa brings some of them to us this hour.
Indeed, Heather. I mean, if there was any doubt from anyone on how explosive this interview was going to be, given all the build-up last week, well, there isn't any doubt now. They were bombshells, if you will. These revelations that really show you how bad it had gotten for Meghan and Prince Harry inside the palace. I mean, they painted a really bleak and difficult picture of what it was like behind closed doors. Let's listen into what Meghan had said, basically setting the tone for what it was like to live there. Take a listen.
It was only once we were married and everything started to really worsen that I came to understand that not only was I not being protected, but that they were willing to lie to protect other members of the family, but they weren't willing to tell the truth to protect me and my husband.
That's quite a clear accusation there, Heather. Lying is what Meghan had said there. And she was also asked by Oprah if she was silent or silenced, and she said the latter. So that is also pretty explosive there. Now, she did say and give us an indication of just how difficult this was on her because of the severe impact it had on her mental state. Oprah had asked her about that, and this is what she said.
I just didn't want to be alive anymore. And that was a very clear and real and frightening, constant thought. And I remember how he just cradled me.
I mean, we're talking about suicide here, suicidal thoughts, Heather. These are serious issues to bring up and accusations. She said she had reached out for help, but she found that she had no support within the palace. And Harry had expressed a similar sentiment. He said he was worried that this was like history repeating itself, obviously referring to what had happened to his mother. Now, one of the most controversial accusations or revelations to come out of this interview, Heather, is one related to racism, because it goes beyond just talking about the royal family. This goes right into the heart of society, both sides of the Atlantic. Take a listen to what Meghan had said about racism in relation to her son, Archie.
The conversation of he won't be given security, he's not going to be given a title, and also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
I think those words of being used here to describe that revelation is shocking. I think a lot of people find that conversations around racism is indeed something very difficult to talk about, an issue that needs to be looked into deeply. Other interesting things that came out of that interview, Heather, the prince also said that he was literally cut off financially, and he explains that that was the reason why they had to strike deals with media companies like Netflix and Spotify. They also had gotten married in private 3 days before that lavish wedding the world saw. So that was something that we didn't know before. And they also revealed that they are expecting a baby girl. So there were some positive notes in there as well, Heather.
We were talking earlier this morning, Tessa, about Oprah being on television on American network morning shows with more from that interview. And apparently one of the most important things that Prince Harry wanted Oprah to stress was that the comments about the color of Archie's skin did not come from the Queen or from Prince Philip. So that is very interesting. That was one of the things that he wanted her to make public. Not sure exactly the source of it, but it wasn't the Queen or Prince Philip. Now, in terms of reaction to this, what are we hearing so far?
Indeed. I mean, just to add to that point, you said that amid all of this, just to make clear, they have only had good things to say about the Queen amid all those revelations. Now, in terms of reaction, Papers around the world actually picking up the headlines. I think this is the main story all across the globe at the moment, picking up on those 2 points on accusations of racism and also Meghan's suicidal thoughts. A lot of it expressed shock, but there were also criticism of the couple, saying, you know, this is really just publicity for them at this point. We saw some tweets from celebrities. I think one was from Serena Williams, a tennis star. She talked about wanting to have respect in society. And also there was Piers Morgan on the other side of this argument. He is very scathing in his comments, saying, you know, this is such bad timing. Prince Philip is still in the hospital recovering, so this is not in good form, as he said. Now, just very quickly to bring the point to light that this has also become a point of conversation in politics. You have a couple of ministers here in the UK saying that racism is not part of society, and if it indeed is the case, there should be an investigation into these accusations of racism. So a lot of reaction coming in, and Heather, we will be bringing our viewers all the latest.